Driving the horses is my vacation from the rest of the year for me. I used to work horses year round. This is my reconnect. This is my happy place.
This is Grounded in Granite, where every person and every place has a story to tell. I'm Jason Schreiber. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Grounded in Granite. I am here at Coppal House Farm in Lee, New Hampshire, and I'm joined by John Hutton, better known as Farmer John. Is that right? We call you Farmer John.
Call me Farmer John.
Yeah. All right. I can do that. And so Farmer John has a lot going on here. You're open year round, right?
We are open year round.
Year round. And currently, I mean, it's been a snowy, cold winter, perfect conditions for horse-drawn sleigh rides. For once, it's been some years probably since you've had perfect conditions.
I would be very honest with you. Last February, we gave more sleigh rides in 3 weeks than we gave in the last 3 years.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's been perfect weather for sleigh rides. But you are open year round with other events going on. I know I'm looking forward to the warmer weather. When is it? July? You've got your Sunflower Festival.
Yeah, the last weekend in July and the weekend in August, we are open for 9 days, bookended on the weekends, obviously. And that's when our sunflowers are in bloom. That is cast in granite.
Yeah.
Because we have to beat the bird migration later in the fall, because if we're a week or two behind, the migrating birds come in and they wipe out our crop in less than 2 days.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, we can talk about that because I mean, if you've never been to the Sunflower Festival, it is absolutely amazing. But here we are to talk about the horse-drawn sleigh rides, when that time period is and how it's been going. I mean, because it has been a great winter for that.
It has been. Yeah. We usually start a week or two before Christmas, the holidays, and we run through that right up until the first of the year. And then we used to schedule stuff for the first part of January, but we found out everybody was pretty tapped out and doing family stuff and everything. So we take the 2 weeks off, and then we go right until the end of February. Traditionally, that last day of February is our last day of giving rides, because once it starts to thaw out, the sleighs go right through the soft snow, they hit the bare ground, and the horses do not enjoy that. So we're done.
Yeah.
So we have a limited season. Of course, we are open for like the school week vacations, like the end of February. So we do everything on a scheduled.
Yeah.
You book a ride. It's not just come and grab a ride. We book it, and then we know when people are going to be here. And I know what I have for volume, so I know which teams we're using, what combinations, and what the day is going to be like, so I can schedule the horses' work activity.
Yeah. So how many different sleigh rides do you? Well, you've got four. What, you've got 4 draft horses here, right?
2 teams right now. I have a pair of Belgians and a pair of Clydesdales. And we do single horse rides, which is basically a 6-person sleigh.
Yeah.
And then we do 12-person sleighs. 2 of my horses will go single very well. We're going to try the Clydes because they're new to us. We'll try them after the season's over.
Okay. Yeah.
But we do half-hour rides. There's a time with a bonfire afterwards. It works
nice.
really well for us.
Yeah.
COVID really helped us out a lot. We learned a lot during COVID. We had to reinvent ourselves. And we have found that the half-hour rides, especially for extended families, work out very well.
Explain this, your dress here.
It's function and style. So it is, this is an old style coachman's jacket from like the 1800s in London.
Okay.
And then I have a top hat that goes with this. But as I've got older and have less hair, I've gone with a Russian look. So I have a fur hat.
That's okay. So that's just to really, keep you warm.
I'm about warmth now.
Yeah. It has been so cold some days. Have you had to cancel any of your sleigh rides this year?
Wind chills, we pull the plug. Mostly out of concern for the horses. The horses are going to be warm enough, but I don't want the ears to get frosted.
Okay.
And then the
Yeah.
second consideration is when you go out for sleigh ride
Mm-hmm.
on a really cold day, the only thing you remember from that experience is how cold it is.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
don't tend to
So
book
then
another
you're
one.
right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, you
Right.
days like today, great.
Yeah. Today is a
super,
beautiful
e-
winter day. Yeah.
Everybody is happy with a
Yeah.
half-hour ride. And they were like,
Yeah.
can we go out longer? And you're like, well, we can't. But
Yeah.
on a really cold day, been out for 10 minutes, you've had
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. And where do you go? Just go around the farm here?
We have this property and we have an adjoining one. We've got over 2.5 miles of trails. And
Really?
depending upon snow conditions, how hard the teams are working and how busy we are, I have different trail combinations so I can put together a half-hour ride and take advantage of everything because it's constantly changing. You have to think about when the snow conditions change and the snow gets sticky, it pulls harder for the horses. So I have to change the path. And when it's cold and slick, there's pretty much not any place I can't go. But we do maintain the trails. The trails are all groomed. We spend a lot of time grooming trails and getting things packed down. And so there's a lot more to it than just driving horses. There's a lot of balls in the air all the time.
Yeah. How many people, during your season do you get through here to taking advantage of these rides?
Ideally, we offer 7 rides on Saturday and Sunday, and we can double book. So that's 28 rides a weekend. And, ideally, I'd love to be filled for all of those. I mean, we do. The horses go out for 2 hours and they have a half hour off, and then we do another hour and a half. Works out really great, and it gives us a break too, a chance for the driver to get off and walk around and things. So it's not constant go.
Yeah.
But the weekends really work well for us. Of course, like I said, during the school vacation weeks, we tend to offer stuff during the week. But we drive people to come here basically from noontime to 5.
And so give us your horses' names and their ages for people who might wonder who's
the
hauling
horse
them around.
that's over here that we can kind of see the blonde horse. That's Wyatt.
Wyatt over here.
He's 17. He's been here since he was 2. The horse directly behind us, that is Tucker. He came here the first week of November. He is 6, and he is a Clyde.
Okay.
And then there's a horse over here we can't see, which is my old.
We'll get a picture up there so people can see.
Yeah. She's that's Twiggy. She's 24.
Twiggy.
I bought her as a 4-year-old. And then there's a horse down on the end named Allie. She's a 4-year-old Clyde. And the 2 Belgians, the 2 red horses have been with me for a long time. These Clydes have come in, and this is their first winter really working. So I've spent a lot of time with them from the first part of November before we even got to sleigh ride season. I was driving these horses 5 days a week, 4 to 5 hours a day, just to get them into shape and to find out, what they knew. It's with I'm going to call them a green team. I know that in a green team means they don't know anything. And a green team, I need to expose them to stuff and just get them so they understand that's part of the job. And you don't really sometimes want to do that with the public.
Yeah, no.
You can have little hiccups pretty quick. These guys are pretty good. They were broke when they came here. They just hadn't ever been asked to work. And the owner is amazed at what I have these horses doing.
Really?
They're just like, you've got them hauling that? And I said, yeah, they're slick. They handle it no problem.
That's awesome.
So it's just time.
So that,
it's called harness time.
Yeah.
The more you do with the horses, the better they go, and the better they go, the more you do with them. So it just builds.
What do you enjoy about the sleigh rides in this time of year with these horses?
Well, I probably shouldn't say this on a podcast, but I'm getting paid to do something that I would do for nothing.
Oh,
so for me, driving the horses is my vacation from the rest of the year. For me, I used to work horses year round. I did all my farming with horses for a long time. We've kind of got away from that a little bit, but this is my reconnect. This is my happy place. The old reliables that I have, Wyatt and Twiggy, they're nice to drive, but after a while, a pair of horses that, they know the deal, the deal, you don't drive anymore. Well, you get a green pair of horses and you got to drive again. You got to start putting your brain back in gear. You've got to you've got to have your A game. And that's a challenge to it. It's like it keeps you sharp. But I will tell you that sometimes it's really nice to take the old reliables out and I can just say, yep, I can I can drive facing backwards and talk to the people the whole time I'm going, and I don't have to
Hmm.
worry about
Yeah.
what these two are doing.
So you wrap up at the end of February with the
Yep.
rides,
Yeah, and
and then
we go right into lambing. We've got 84 ewes to give birth in the month of March. So my niece and I,
oh my.
my niece Hannah has taken over managing the sheep flock
Mm-hmm.
from me. I've turned that over to her. So we take turns getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going out with a cup of coffee and your cell phone and see what
Mm-hmm.
we got for Christmas
Yeah,
out
yeah.
in the barn and help anybody that needs help.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the month of March. Plus, we'll do some logging with the horses this winter. I've got some lumber to get out to build a
Oh.
pavilion and things, so I can fit that in. And then we start spring field work in April, and we go right through until the frost comes in November because we're doing hay for
Mm.
our own livestock here. And then we also do small grains, which is wheat, rye, barley, oat,
Mm-hmm.
either for grain for ourselves or for the distillery down the street. And I do the same thing with corn.
Hmm.
So I have corn for grain for our livestock, but I
Mm.
also handle the corn operation, the planting and the harvesting work I do for Flag Hill. Mr. Ferguson and I, his wife Maddie, and Brian, and then my wife Carol and I, we all work
Mm.
together on the grain project, and it's worked out really well for us. He has some equipment that I don't have. I have some equipment he doesn't have. And between the two of us, there isn't anything we can't grow,
Hmm.
harvest, clean, dry, store, and make something out of that you can grow in New England. And we've done it on a handshake, and it's worked out really, really well
Really?
for us.
Oh,
So, I mean, we always have
that's
that going on. And then we
yeah.
have the corn maze opens up the first,
And
second week in September. We go through that to the end of October.
but the Sunflower Festival before that,
Is
so
is only 9 days,
not
and we're
just
done.
just 9 days, and so how many people come through for that?
Oh, we can have
It's a
anywhere. We can
crowd.
have a couple thousand people a day without a problem.
A day?
A
Oh my
day,
god.
well, Saturday and
Yeah,
Sunday, and
yeah,
then Monday
okay.
through Friday is actually pretty busy.
Really?
There's 5 to 700 people go through here,
Mhm. Wow,
because
wow.
we offer, like, on the weekends, we obviously have we have food trucks, we have
Mhm.
music, we have
Hmm.
craft fair, we have all kinds of demonstrations going on along with the sunflowers. And then during the week, we have special events every day, like we have a limited mobility day, we have
Okay.
take your
Huh.
picture with the horses day, we
Oh,
have a
nice.
touch a tractor day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a lot of people like the slower pace of Monday through Friday than the craziness of the weekends.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
other people love the weekends where it's nuts.
And how many sunflowers do you have, like,
We try to
roughly?
grow between 15 and 20 acres of sunflowers every year. We are the oldest
So
sunflower oil producer in the state of New Hampshire.
that's right, yes, yeah, so you're
And so
yeah.
we're vertically integrated here. So from the time the crop is planted until the customer takes the oil bottle out of our hand, it's never
Mm.
left the farm. I have the ability to clean, dry, store, press,
Mhm.
filter, bottle, label, and sell it all here at through the farm stand. So we sell the
So
sunflowers
that
3 times. We sell them once for photos.
yeah,
People come and take photos.
yeah.
We sell the oil.
Mm.
And then the oil seed process, when we press it, we actually get a meal out of that,
Mm.
which looks like, well, for lack of a better term, goose poop. And, but it's a 33% protein, and we feed that to the sheep and the chickens and horses. So
Okay.
I don't throw
Yeah,
anything away.
yeah,
And we make a lot of our own grain,
that's how you
which is
do it.
really unusual. We're managing over 600 acres. And we're
What
farming about 250, but we're managing over 600.
and what else do you have what other livestock do you have
Right
have
now,
here?
we're
Good.
running 200 chickens for eggs. We're
Okay.
known for our eggs. And then, of
Yeah.
course, we have the sheep. So sometimes
Okay.
we can have close to 250 sheep here.
Okay.
Usually it's between 150 and 200. We have the 4 draft horses. We have 4 guard dogs that live with our sheep due to the coyote pressure. But the newest
Yeah.
one for us is a bear issue. We have a real bad bear problem here.
Really?
And then we have 1 border collie to herd the sheep. And then
Mhm.
we have 1 cat that handles all the rodent
Hey,
problems.
okay. You got all the bases covered by the sounds of it,
Yeah, we
even
try.
even the bears. Yeah, so the bears, that just been kind of in recent years you've
The
had
last
to deal
5 or 6 years, we've actually have lost more sheep to the bear than we have coyotes. We've had sheep since the 80s, and he's the
guess
main reason we now have 4 dogs. We used to
Mhm.
be able to get by with 2,
Just
but
gonna have you
we have
talk
found that
yeah,
even when the sheep are here at the farm and they're right beside the house, they
Huh.
have to have a dog with them.
Really?
We
Gee.
have electric fence that's set up for 8,000 volts. And if we have the fence and no dog, he'll go through the fence and take the electricity. But if we have a dog on the other side, he doesn't bother. Now, of course, one of our dogs weighs, we just weighed him 2 days ago. I think Otto weighs 123 pounds.
Really?
Most of our dogs weigh over 90 pounds apiece. They're all livestock guardian dogs. So their purpose in life is to live with the sheep 24/7. They think the sheep are part of their flock, and they will defend those sheep against just about anything.
Wow.
And the main thing is they bark. And we don't have the dogs to fight with the predators. And the predators don't want to fight with our dogs. What they don't like is the noise, because they know that Farmer John's going to show up, and that may not end well. So it's kind of like, all right, the dogs are here. We'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
And that way we can live with, to be fair to the coyotes, they do us a great service because everything eats sunflower plants. You think about it, you can buy sunflower shoots in the grocery store for greens, microgreens, very high in protein, very good to eat. Well, everything else likes to eat them too. So basically everything that eats sunflowers can be eaten by a coyote. So I need the coyotes to be around.
Right.
It sounds weird getting sheep and saying, hey, I need the coyotes. And what we've done with the dogs is we have just taken sheep off the menu. That's what we've done.
Yeah.
And it's worked out very, very well.
Yeah. Well, you have quite the operation here, Farmer John. What is the most challenging part of running this place? I guess there's all kinds of challenges. Weather is probably
staffing.
It's just
staffing is
okay. Yeah.
The one, the constant one is the weather. We can't control that. Last spring we had 11 weekends it rained.
Yeah.
So I planted all my sunflowers in my drier fields because I said, hey, it's going to rain all summer. I'll put them in my drier fields and I'll be fine. Well, then it didn't rain.
We had drought.
I did not harvest any sunflowers this year. They droughted out on us. I had blooms, but I had no oil in the seed.
I see.
So we did not harvest sunflowers this year. So, those are things you can't control.
Yeah.
Staffing is just a big issue. We have a lot of people that would like to work, but what we can afford to pay and what you need to live in this area is brutal.
It's a challenge. Yeah, that is for sure. How big of a staff do you have here?
Right now we have 2 full-time that are here 5 days a week, and then we have 2 other people that probably amount to about another full-time employee, plus my wife and I. 6 of us that are in and out of here all the time. Everybody can do, except for driving the teams, everybody can pretty much do everybody else's job.
Okay.
Well, I don't do any of the IT stuff. That I do not do any of the stuff that requires any kind of communication at all. So
you don't strike me as an IT person. So
no, we have learned to keep Farmer John away from the computer.
Yeah. I can. Yeah. And you've been here, what is it, 30 years or so?
2005. I grew up in Stratham. I farmed in Stratham from 1977 until 2000.
So this is, you've been doing this for your life, and so you obviously enjoy it. It's tough, but and as we said, many challenges, but
well, here's where everybody gets in trouble with farming is they say, well, you're not expected to make any money farming. It's still a business. You've got to be able to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Are you, the big joke is, if you get $5 million and you farm for, 5 years, how much will you have left? You won't have anything. Well, we got to get away from that mindset. But you are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially if you have livestock. And, I logged with my horses and oxen in the woods commercially until the mid-90s. And, everybody thought that was, pretty cool. And I said, but you got to realize that those teams come first over everything. Holidays, vacations, the team comes first, period. End of story. No matter what's going on in your life, that team is taken care of first. And people don't realize that, that's great for the first month or two. Try doing that for 15, 20 years straight.
Right.
Changes.
No.
I was lucky. My mentor was Earl and Merrill, and he taught me pretty much what I know about working horses. And in a nutshell, what he taught me he told me, he said, anybody can buy a new team every year. He says it takes a horse person to have the same horses all the time. What he stressed was longevity, treating the horses decent. We're kind of work comrades here. Yeah, I'm the boss, but you rule with respect. And if your team believes in you and they respect you, they're going to do a lot for you. And you don't have to work very hard to do it, but it takes time. And that's the problem, is people don't want to put the time in. I have people that say, well, we want to learn how to drive. And I said, okay. I said, you need to commit to 3 years. And they're like, what? I said, minimum of 3 years. I said, because this isn't a 6-month course. You might know something about horses and grass that, but if you're dealing with the public, after we get done knowing all the horse stuff, now you got to learn, how do you deal with the public?
Yeah.
You can have fun groups, and you have got groups that maybe aren't so fun. And you got to learn to be a people person. Usually
definitely.
People that are really like animals aren't really great people.
There's a lot to it. That is for sure.
There's a lot of
people
balls
don't
in the
realize
air all the time, but I love problem solving. And most problems, we try to tackle everything head on. We don't delay anything. We get right back to people. Very transparent with what we do here. There's no real hidden treasures. People understand. The thing about farming is you have to remember is that we're working on our third, fourth generation that does not have anybody that was involved in agriculture. And if people ask you a question, it's because they want to know. And you're going to answer that question, especially in the environment we're in. Sunflower Festival, corn maze, sleigh rides, and then I work at a lot of fairs, emceeing draft horse shows. You're asked the same question 300 times a day. And you have to remember that 299th person has no idea you've already been asked that question. And you need to put a smile on your face and not be snarky, because they want to know. And answer them truthfully and honestly. And you've got somebody that might be a customer for a long time. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm not in it for a quick fix. You can do this as a quick fix, but it's not going to last.
So I was going to ask, when you took over this farm, like the sleigh rides, the festival, the Sunflower Festival, the corn maze, was that all stuff you have incorporated here since you've owned the farm, or were those
the sleigh rides we did in Stratham?
Okay.
The corn mazes, my wife and I, Carol, we made a decision that we had to leave Stratham and we were going to buy a farm. And I went on a field trip with one of her classes to do a corn maze, because Carol said, hey, here's something that maybe we ought to think about doing. Went as a chaperone, and I came home and I said, oh yeah, we're doing that. And so when we bought this place, we closed on it April 1st, 2005. We moved from Stratham, so we moved all our equipment. We had 2 horses, 6 sheep, 3 cats, and a dog. And we came here. I made 32,000 square bales of hay that year. We grew 25 acres of pumpkins and opened a corn maze, which we had never done before in our life, all in the same year.
Wow.
All in like 6 months.
Gee.
So it was pretty hectic.
That is crazy.
But we've just added these components as we've gone along, and we've learned how to deal with people. The nice thing is that the core group we have right now, if you called me up and you said, hey, we're going to come and do the corn maze and we want to bring 300 people for a private corn maze, I know exactly how much staff I need to handle 300 people. It works out really, really well for us. We've grown with it. The Sunflower Festival started when photographers started coming and saying, hey, we saw the field last year, and I put it in my calendar, and you moved the field, and you're like,
it's such a photogenic thing.
And my wife's, the light bulb went off in her head, and she said, maybe we ought to let people come and look at the sunflower.
He's taking that sheet
up.
Now this guy is yawning up a storm over here. Did they sleep last night?
Oh, yeah.
Or at least I assume it's a yawn. I keep seeing...
That's Tucker.
Tucker's tired. He's tuckered out.
No, he's not as tired as you think he is. He can be a live wire and harness.
Yeah.
Driving those
I
two.
keep seeing him on
because Tucker is Allie's dad, and so
okay.
he's 2 years older than she is, and she's bigger.
Dad and daughter here. Nice.
Yeah, she's 7/8 Clyde. He's half Hackney, half Clydesdale.
Yeah,
and he's got a totally different disposition than the other 3 horses. He's a little quicker.
Yeah.
He's a little fast.
Do they get tired of the people when they're doing they're out there,
I'm going to be honest with you. The Clydes came to us very people friendly, and they love people. I am pretty sure they were imprinted as foals, which means they've been handled since day one.
Yeah.
So they think you're just another horse, and they get into everything.
Yeah.
Wyatt and Twiggy, they're good with people for a while, and then you can see that they've had enough. And
Wyatt won't even come over here. He's
Wyatt is Wyatt. It takes about he's good for that 5-minute interaction at the end of the sleigh ride to see people, and then he's good to be left alone for a half hour.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he hasn't moved behind us here.
He's not aggressive, but he can get sick of it.
He gets yeah. Oh my gosh.
And Twiggy's the same way. She's good for a while, and then she's had enough. They're no different than people.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the best way to describe them is Tucker and Allie are close talkers.
Okay.
And Wyatt and Twiggy will always give you 3 feet and say, "You want to be over there? I'm over here." They're no different than people. When you ask a horse to do different jobs, if we're doing stuff where we're doing a lot of stuff with the public that day, I would tend to probably take Tucker or Allie because they're going to stand that better. And if I'm just purely demonstrating and not a lot of interaction, I'll use the Twiggy and Wyatt. You have to know where your horses are comfortable. If they're comfortable and they're feeling good, they're gonna go good. You're asking them to do something they don't really good about doing. They might do it for you, but you can tell it's not coming easy. I don't believe in fighting.
Yeah. So what are the future plans? Do you have you just you're happy with your operation here and
right now? The operation is going. We're putting in a little bit more permanent infrastructure. We're looking at building a pavilion so we don't have to rent a tent every time.
Now, what's that for?
That will be for the corn maze, the Sunflower Festival, and then I can use it in the off season for storage for all my overwidth equipment.
Right.
So I can get multiple uses out of the same building. And the cool thing is we've been getting out the lumber with the horses for that. So that basically we have a nice story to tell from basically from stump to stick. That lumber has come off the property. We sawed it and we've used it here on the property, and it's come out old school behind the horses. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not many places I can say that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, the plans are to do the fine tuning. We're in transition. We're turning the farm over to Hannah and Megan. They're going to take the farm over. Well, Hannah's my niece and Megan's a long-term employee. Been with us for a long time. Both girls are interested in doing it, and they're involved already up to their eyebrows. So,
wow, good
what's
for
the
them.
difference?
That's, yeah. Wow. Oh, that's great that they have that interest in taking on even more than, so that's great. Yeah. What do you hope people who come here sort of take away from their experience on the farm, whether it's coming for a sleigh ride or, coming to your farm stand or coming to your other events?
I would have to say education. My wife is a retired science teacher. Carol and I both believe in educating and talking with the people, and so do Hannah and Megan. And when people come here, I feel that they should feel free to ask questions. And because basically there's a core group of us, I mean, we could be bigger, but then you lose touch with the public. Pretty much when you come here, you're dealing with somebody who's invested in this place. And, we want you to come back. And so, it's going to sound a little bit weird, but I believe in shearing a customer instead of skinning them. You can shear a sheep many times. You only can skin them once. Well, if a customer goes away and feeling that they've been skinned, they're not coming back. But if you shear them a little bit every time they come, they get something out of it, like when we go to farmers market, Carol is our representative at farmers market, and she does a lot of education.
Yeah.
Everything, because obviously we're selling lamb, we're selling, we were doing asparagus, but we're kind of phasing that out. But, sunflower oil and the eggs and things like that. So she does a lot of interaction with the public all the time. Where education for us is what we're all about. We're
Mm.
more than willing to tell the story
Yeah.
because I believe that you either tell your story or someone's going to tell it for you, and you're not going to
And
like the way they do it.
right.
So,
Tell it
you know,
yourself and right.
control and
Mhm.
be honest about it. Don't
Yeah.
not just control the narrative,
Mhm.
but be honest about it. I mean, people
Mm.
say, "Well, what happens when your horses get old? What happens to them?" And I said, "Well,
Mm.
we keep them until medically they are in pain, and we
Mm.
put them down, and they're buried up here on the hill. They don't leave the farm.
Mm.
I don't sell them off or whatever. We just put a pair of horses down this fall that really affected us pretty hard."
Mm.
But it was time to say goodbye. They both were
Mm.
not doing well, and we gave them the
Mm.
summer. And we said, "Okay, guys, you're not going to have a good winter. You're
Mm.
going to be in pain. It's time to say goodbye." And we
Mm.
did, and we didn't take that lightly. And
Mm.
my friend knew that I was short a team, and he said, "Hey, I got a pair of Clydes that need harness time." So
Mm.
I kind of got these two.
So that's
Right
how you
now.
ended up with these two.
That's how
Okay.
I ended up with these two.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, and
Huh.
people, and that's a hard thing to talk to the people about because
Yeah.
what happens? Most people say, "Oh well, whatever," and it's like, no, we're going to tell you.
Mm.
They're up here on the hill. They're buried, and that's where I'm going to be
Mhm.
buried. So I'm going to
Mm.
be buried with my horses. So that's the
Oh,
way it is.
nice. So you got that,
I got that all
so you
figured
got
out.
that all planned out
A
and,
little dark there, but
yeah,
it's
well,
just
no,
reality.
but yeah. No, that's great to kinda, stay right here on the farm and,
Yep.
it's your home and,
It's your home. If we have
if
horses here longer than a year and they work out, they're here until they're done.
yeah.
We don't sell them off or whatever. They
Hmm.
stay here and they work.
And so your store, like you're open
We have a
through the
self-serve farm stand
it's
from noontime until 5, and so people
and
can come and get, basically our lamb and our eggs and oil. Eggs this time of year, of course, are pretty tough
yeah.
with the shorter daylight hours. We do have an
Yeah.
egg CSA because um,
Okay.
I'm just going to blow our own horn. Apparently we have really good practices with our hens. Our hens are
Mm.
outside every day. We tend to manage them old school. What I learned from a gentleman named Harold Piper from Stratham back in the 70s. And we have our birds go 2 or 3 years. Our chickens are outside every day. We go to farmers market. There's a lot of competition for eggs there, and we're not the cheapest. And
Mm.
we're the first ones sold out. The
Mm.
hardcore foodies know our eggs are the real deal. And we also run out of stuff.
Yeah.
When you have a small farm and
That's
they never run out of anything, you might want to be real questioned about whether it's theirs.
Mm.
We run out of lamb. We
Mm.
run out of eggs. We
Mm.
run out of oil because we're
Mm.
not buying anything in. And if we have to, we're very open and very transparent about it and saying,
Mhm.
hey,
Mm.
this year we had to buy some sunflowers in because obviously I didn't have any sunflowers to harvest. But there's a guy up the street 50 miles away. He and I worked together a lot. He had excess sunflower seeds. He was right on the river. He had water. I
Mm.
didn't. So I bought some sunflowers from him to press
Mm.
for oil for us. But we're going to
Mm.
be transparent about it and say, hey,
Yeah.
we bought these seeds and this is why we did it. And
Mm.
make your choice whether you want to buy them or not.
Mhm. Mhm.
We
Well,
think people will. I think
mhm.
people get it. At least our loyal customers understand that, not every year is a good year. We're diversified enough so that there's always something that does well. And there's always something that fails
Yeah.
miserably. But if you're diversified
That's the
enough,
key. Right.
you can weather the storm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, that's definitely what you got to do, especially these days. I know you do some announcing or done some announcing shows and
Yep, I
things
do that
as
a
well.
lot. I started that in Stratham Fair, and I
Stratham
left
Fair.
Stratham Fair
Yeah.
in 2016. My family had done that for 50 years. We ran the horse, the ox pulling, and the
So you
farm
did the
horse.
announcing
I did all the
during.
announcing there and a lot of the
Okay.
judging. And
Wow.
I've been
Just
at Lancaster Fair now since the 90s. I've been at Addison since 2000. Well, the mid. Yeah, 2005.
Okay.
I just got Freiburg Fair. This will be my second year there. And then I work at Topsfield. And basically my job is to fill in
What?
the times in between while the show teams, because I do the draft horse show. So they're
The
hitching
show.
the empty
Yeah.
wagons. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like looking at the Budweiser Clydesdales.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the color guy. I make it so you're not like watching paint dry. So I talk about the hitches, the breeds, the wagons, the harnesses, and then I give the directions for walk, trot, reverse, line up.
Mm.
And then I do all the ribbon presentation stuff.
Mm.
And you can have an audience of 30 people and you can go to Freiburg and have 5,000.
Mhm.
And I know all the exhibitors in this New England area, and we can make it fun. We can have a good time. And when something goes wrong, we're really good at,
Yeah.
just saying, hey, this is it. And then we get it cleaned up and we proceed on.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
the big thing there. That's my outside thing. That's kind of my retirement thing.
Well, Farmer John, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your story, your farm, and all that you have going on here year round. And I'm glad it's you and not me. So I'm glad you're willing to put the time in and be so dedicated to this operation. It's important.
Well, it's a lifetime work thing.
Yeah.
I said early on in my life, I said, I'm not ever going to have a ton of money, but whatever I do in my life, I'm going to be happy doing it. And, I think for me, that works. Doesn't work for everybody, but I think, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money and then they spend a lot of money trying to be happy. And I'm like, how about make a little less
and be happy? Yeah.
A lot of your other problems.
Mm-hmm. Words of wisdom there for all of us, and from Farmer John. And
I can give you, on a closing note, I can give you some really sound financial advice.
Okay.
And this is 100% true.
Okay.
If you want to handle a lot of money, own horses. If you want to keep a lot of money, have absolutely nothing to do with horses.
Yes, I can. Yes, that's good. Good
to be my words of wisdom.
Well, John, thank you again for taking the time, and it's been great, and the horses have been really well behaved, and they're very, very pleasant. We got, and there's a chicken running around here too, and I should have brought her up on the.
She just started laying eggs again yesterday.
She's just okay. All right.
Our guard dogs are a little hard on chicken, but that's a common thing with guard dogs.
Well, she's been roaming around here, and all right. Well, thanks again, and until next time, remember, every person and every place has a story to tell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in to Grounded in Granite, where we celebrate the people, places, and stories that make New Hampshire home. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow Grounded in Granite on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram for behind-the-scenes clips, photos, and more. Subscribe to the Grounded in Granite YouTube channel to catch full video episodes. You can also find Grounded in Granite on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeart. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and stay grounded in granite.